Hi. How are we today? All right. Well, I hope you guys had a great past few days. All right. Okay. And we have a new person joining us today. So welcome. We are going to talk a little bit about the things we talked about last week. And we're also going to look at our homework. And then we will kind of move on to some different things. So last class, just a quick review. We looked about the debate structure and format of how a debate would go, right? We looked at how we would have an opening, each side would have chance for rebuttal, we would have conclusions, right? And what I want to talk about a little bit today is about what that opening might look like, right? And we also talked about how we have two sides of a debate, right? We have the agree side or the proposition side, same thing as affirmative. And then we have the other side, which is the opposing side, or they disagree with the motion, the negative. So depending upon what side you're on for the debate, the opening, your first part here may look a little bit different, right? So depending upon whether or not you agree or disagree with the motion, kind of talks about the way that the way that your opening goes, right? So the affirmative side, the side that agrees, goes first. And we said that in our last class, right? You guys remember? Yeah. Okay. All right. So we talked about so if you are on the agree side, you want to talk about defining what the motion is. So again, the motion that you guys had for homework was that pets should not be allowed in restaurants. That was the motion that we had for homework. Did everybody do their homework? I have one person shaking their head, yes. Okay. So you're going to define what does that mean. So again, the motion is talking about pets not being allowed in restaurants. Sometimes you go to restaurants and you may see someone who has their dog laying underneath their chair, right? Some people think that's okay. Some people think it's not okay. Sometimes they are animals that are helping people with a disability. So maybe a seeing eye dog. So that person may be blind. Other people may be just bringing their dog for fun. But you would define the motion. And you kind of give a couple of your main points and give a conclusion. And then the opposing side goes. We practiced this format a little bit in our last class, right? We kind of did a little brief debate where each side got a chance to go, but we didn't talk about really what should go into those opening statements for the affirmative side and for the negative side. So the opposing side, right? you're going to give in your introduction and relate it to what the proposition just said. Fan An, you did really, really well at this last class, right? I know you've taken debate before. You said, am I correct? You looked stunned that I called on you. You did a great job. You were on the opposition side last class, and you went back and you addressed something that the other side said, right? You want to have, what's a rebuttal? What's a rebuttal?
It's like rebut the opposition team argument. Like,
Right. You say you have an argument against it. And then you give your own points and you want to keep come up with a strong finish. So what I want to try to do this class, so I can't I've lost the chat box. I'm going to stop sharing screen for a second so I can find the chat box. I'm going to type the motion that we worked on or that you were assigned for homework, right? Pets should not be allowed in restaurants. Each of you, again, for homework, you were to come up actually with 3 reasons why you agree. So 3 reasons why you are on the proposition side, so the affirmative side, and 3 reasons why you disagree. I'm going to share the screen again. What I want you to take a minute or two, well, be more than 2 minutes. I want you to come up with an opening for the affirmative side. So where it says here, first proposition, affirmative. Okay. I want you to take a minute or two, write down or come up with something in your head, and we're going to practice coming up with our opening remarks. Okay. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes. I'm going to set a timer, and then we're going to share out what we came up with for our openings. Questions? Everybody knows what they're doing? Does anybody not know what we're doing? Okay. 2 minutes to come up with your opening remark. You got 40 seconds. All right, that's time. That's time. Okay. So, Anh, do you want to go first? What did you come up with for your opening?
Me?
Yes.
Okay. So for the proposition team, okay. Just say out the argument, right?
Yeah, what, like, again, excite us about the debate with a strong opening, define the motion. So this would be your
Oh,
first 2 minutes. Remember that we had here. So we're
okay.
practicing that.
Oh,
So what did you come up with? How
okay.
how did you
My
define the motion? What were your couple points? Then you would have done your points at homework in your homework. And then what was your conclusion?
my speech will start in 3, 2, 1. Okay, as now I'm the first speaker for opposition team, and the motion of the debate is pets should not be allowed in restaurant. My definition for pet is a animal kept for companionship, enjoyment, or as a part of a household. And pet typically animal or dogs, cat, bird, fish, small animal, and that are cared for by human and often from strong emotion bond with their owner. Definition for restaurant: a restaurant is a commercial establishment where meals and drink are prepared, served, and sold to the customer. Next is to my argument. First argument is about hygiene and health concern. First is about sanitation issue. So pet can carry germ and bacteria that may contaminate food and eating area. Even well-groomed pet can shed hair and occasionally have accident and through the cleanness of the
Cleanliness.
establishment
Cleanliness.
already end.
No, I said the word you're looking for is called cleanliness.
Oh, clean. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And second is about allergies. So many people have allergies to pet gender, yeah, which can lead to allergy reaction ranging from mind discomfort for the customer to get served, and not everyone love pet, right? As we all know, some people might have allergy to their fur and blah blah blah. And a restaurant is not for just one person to eat, it is for everyone. Yeah. And my second argument is about safety and the comfort of the customer. So as I have said, not everyone comfort feel comfortable around pets. Some people may have fear about animal, which can cause stress and cause like not good emotion. Not yeah, cause stress while eating and don't feel enjoying when eating food. And pet can also have aggressive behavior. So like even well-behaved pet can become unpredictable in a new environment. They can, I don't know, shout out, they can make the environment being like noisy, and we can't enjoy our meal, and which can cause a noisy for dining environment. Yeah. I, and, in conclusion, in conclusion, pets should not be allowed. I believe pets should not be allowed in restaurant by first hygiene and offer, and next is the comfort of customer. Yeah.
All right. So great job. And especially because I know we didn't have lots of time to prepare, but I would suggest you don't say blah, blah, blah. And it's debate. But I know if I'd have given you more time, you'd have been able to kind of really thoroughly wrap your head around what you're saying. All right. Kang. All
Yes.
right. Can we hear yours?
So hello, ladies and gentlemen, judges and opponents. I'm the first speaker of the affirmative team, speaking with the topic of pets should not be allowed in restaurants. Today, I shall state my points, support my team's ideas, and define the motion. So, first, what defines pets? Pets are animals with owners, and they usually have a special affiliation or bond with the animal. People you own pets for either medical reasons or emotional reasons. Now what defines restaurants? Restaurants are commercial businesses that operate to serve food to people and to gain money. So now I will start my points. So first, one reason why we shouldn't allow pets in restaurants is there are potential hygiene problems, as even pets that are groomed well can have risk of their fur or bacteria or pathogens on that are on them to get onto the dishes that people are eating or the people themselves. That this risks health problems and can trigger potential allergic reactions from other people who are allergic to pets. Along with that, this even if pets are treated well and they know their surroundings, they may not be adapted to the people who are present at the restaurant, and this could pose potential dangers such as the pets behaving aggressively, attempting to bite or attack other people in the restaurant. And lastly, I would like to conclude my speech by saying that considering all factors, I think pets should not be allowed in restaurants.
All right. Thank you. Good job. You guys are doing well with this. Hung, do you have one? I don't know where he went. Hugh, do you have one? Can you share yours?
My opinion that we should not allow pets in a restaurant because my first opinion, some people allergic to the pets and next is the hygiene problem. It can like poop on the floor. And my last argument is if the pet can run away and you can lose track, so it's hard to find the pet. That's all. We shouldn't let pet in a restaurant.
Okay, do you have a conclusion? Or you might say in conclusion, or to summarize, I feel. Can you come up with a conclusion?
To summarize, pets shouldn't allowed to be in a restaurant.
All right, thank you. See. Gia Kong, do you have one to share that you can share with us? Can you tell us your opening?
Yes, I do.
Okay, great.
Can I tell the whole debate?
Well, we're starting with this opening part here. So you're going to give us your opening by defining the motion, giving 2 or 3 points, and then giving a good conclusion. Because we'll have to go, we're not going to go back through the rebuttal or anything yet.
Yes.
Okay.
I start now?
Yes, go ahead. Thank you.
A pet. Okay. Pets should not be allowed at restaurants for several important reasons related to health, hygiene, and the comfort of all customers. Firstly, allowing pets in dining establishments raises significant hygiene concerns. Even well-behaved pets can shed fur, and their presence increases the risk of potential contamination of food and surfaces. This can lead to allergies or health issues for customers in restaurants. Furthermore, not all customers are comfortable around animals, and their presence can cause anxiety or discomfort for those who may have phobias or fear of pets. Restaurants are meant to provide a relaxed and enjoyable dining experience. The animals or pets can disrupt this environment. So if pets aren't allowed in restaurant will ensure a cleaner, safer, and more inclusive atmosphere for all customers. Thank you.
All right, thank you. You guys did a great job with that. And so that was kind of like the format for the affirmative. In the negative, you would kind of introduce obviously the negative and then try to come up with a rebuttal of what the other side said. So we're actually not going to practice that one, but just because I think that's easier done if we were going to be able to go back and forth. Here are just some few tips when you are opening the debate. You might want to, being the first speaker, you might want to ask a rhetorical question. Do you know what that is? What's a rhetorical question?
Like pet is cute, right? But not every, it is not allowed every place like that.
Yeah, it's a question that really doesn't expect an answer, right? Like, you're not really expecting the audience to come back and say, "Oh yeah, you're right. Pets are so cute." You know, there's no reason for there to be an answer. Again, these are similar tips to when you guys do a writing piece, right? You always want to to open your writing with something to really engage your audience. It's the same thing when you're doing a debate. You really want to you want the point of a debate is to get people to listen to you and people to agree with what you said. And so you really want to make sure that you grab their attention from the beginning so that they're listening to your points. And then you have a better chance if they're actually listening to you and engaged in listening to actively listening to what you're saying. You have a better chance of kind of convincing them to feel the same way. All right. So again, telling some kind of captivating story, asking a rhetorical question, a statistic, a powerful quote, right? Those are all ways that you can try to grab grab attention from the people who are listening to your debate. And then you might also want to make sure, again, we define our motion. So if you're using a lot of, some vocabulary that people might not understand, you want to make sure you're defining that so people understand what you're saying. Summarizing your position and defining a policy. All right. So we're going to look at the rebuttal part. So we did the opening. Okay. And again, so we practiced the opening for the proposition or for the ones, the affirmative side, you agree. Then after that, the opening for the proposition goes, the opposer will go. And that's the side that disagrees. And again, you want to start trying to pick apart some different things that your opponent is saying. So the opposing side would go, then a proposition will go again, and you'll get your rebuttal, a chance to have a rebuttal. So further arguments that your team might have put together. Okay, I'm trying to think of the right words that I want to use here. I'm not coming up with the right words necessarily, but all right. Any questions so far? So how do you think you come up with your rebuttal? You're shaking your head, yes. What do you want to say?
This is like just a brief rebut because I don't prepare any, but so rebut, like we can say that even if so you're saying that pet or having some people are having allergies, or it is not safe for the food to have pet bacteria or something like that, but we can have a solution such as we can have a solution such as creating a pet area, like restaurant can create a design pet friendly area, so either indoor or outdoor, to minimize the health and safety concern of the customer, and while people can still enjoy the food that they want, and that can even bring a benefit for people who love pet to join, and like that can even bring a benefit like for people who love pet and just talk to create a community of such as thing. And can have even that restaurant can even have a unique things, like a pet restaurant can attract many type of customer that love pet.
Yeah. Okay. Great job. You think very quickly on your feet. So again, this is so the rebuttal usually comes from like the second person on the team. Okay. And so the job of the second person is kind of defend what the first person said, right? But then refute or argue against what the opposing team had said, right? So and then you add into your own points. So for example, what Fa'an just said is, so he went first, right? Let's say, thinking about, he did the opening and I'm on his team, okay? So if I were the second speaker on the affirmative team, I'm going to remind you of what Fa'an said in the first part. And then I'm going to argue against or try to pick apart some of the things that the opposing team said. And then I'm going to give you some of my points as well. Does that make sense? Right? If I'm on the opposing side, I'm going to kind of do something similar. I'm going to talk about what my partner said, my first partner said. I'm going to try to pick apart the proposition and think of arguments against things that they had said, and then give you my opinions. Does this make sense? Because we're going to introduce a new topic. Yes? Any questions? I'm going to stop with that slideshow. And any questions on things that we've said so far? No? We're all good? All right. So we are going to look at, let me pull this up. Hold on. I lost you guys. Okay. Zoos are cruel, and all the animals should be released into the wild. Zoos are cruel, and all the animals should be released into the wild. Let me give you a little bit of background or the context here. All right. In May 2019, a Canadian zoo owner in Quebec was charged with animal cruelty when a member of the public reported that the animals were kept in poor conditions and expressed concern for their welfare. Zoos began their life as menageries, typically an enclosed space used to keep exotic animals in captivity. Menageries often belonged to rich aristocrats and royalty as a sign of their wealth and power. Modern zoos often incorporate scientific research, educational exhibits, and conservation efforts, but many activists argue that zoos are unnatural, cause unnecessary stress to animals, and argue that animals are simply kept for human entertainment. So do you think zoos should be closed down and their animals released into the wild? So let's look at two different viewpoints here, and then we're going to kind of divide into our different teams for and against. So these horrendous places should stop kidding themselves by suggesting that zoo visits are educational. Most visitors don't spend much time reading the information boards. They just look at the animals and move on. Animals often show signs of stress at being forced to live in captivity. Many are made to live in unnatural climates, and there's just something wrong about forcing animals to live a life where people stare at them all day for entertainment. Here's the other side. People don't understand the good that a zoo does. There are education centers for school visits that provide people with a chance to see animals that they'd otherwise never see in the zoo, in the wild. Zoos are also really important for research and conservation efforts too. A lot of money is invested in preserving natural habitats, and zoos play an important role in looking after endangered animals. All right, so there are a couple different viewpoints. What we're gonna do, there are 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 of you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I'm not supposed to use breakout rooms anymore, because it messes up the recording or something. So I'm going to assign you teams. We're gonna have to kind of see how this works. We're gonna give this a try today. So you and Fa'an, you are going to be on the proposition. So you agree with the motion that zoos are cruel and all the animals should be released into the wild. Jia Kong and Ming, you oppose the motion. Okay, so I'm going to type it in the chat. I'm going to say, so again, the motion is zoos are cruel and all the animals should be released into the wild. All right. So I'm going to go back to the other screen, not the other screen, but the other PowerPoint, so that you can kind of think about, we are going to do the openings and the rebuttals. So if you guys, because you have to have a way to work together. So if you need to chat to each other, so that you can figure out who's going to be the first speaker, who's going to be the second speaker, kind of thing. You can use the chat box to type to each other to figure that out really quickly, right? Because you're going to need to figure out who's going to be the first speaker and who's going to be the second speaker. And you might have to have a little bit of an idea of what your teammate is going to say, because again, if you're the second speaker, you are defending your teammate. You're kind of summarizing or repeating a little bit about what your teammate said. And then you're going to do the rebuttal against the opposition, and then you are going to give your own points. So, any questions? Do you guys think you can do this and like you can prepare quickly in like 5 minutes, or do you need a little bit longer?
Maybe 5 minutes.
All right, we're going to start with 5 minutes and see how it goes. But again, like you can go down to the chat box and talk with your partner, so that you can figure out who's first speaker, who's second speaker, and then maybe give your partner a couple ideas of what your points are, so that you are on the same page. Would it be helpful? I did type the motion in the chat box. So I think that's more that's helpful there, and then I can put up the debate structure format again, if that would be helpful. But we'll start with 5 minutes for you guys to work quickly together and prepare. Is that okay? All right, I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes.
Oh, by the way, who's my teammate?
You is your teammate.
Oh, here. Okay.
Am I on like the affirmative or negative side again?
You are the opposition, so you're the negative. You have 2.5 minutes left. All right. Okay. So are we ready? Or do you guys need a few more minutes? Hello.
Have 1 more minute.
Okay, okay. I'll give you 2 just to be safe. 2 minutes.
Oh, thank you.
All right. How we doing? We ready? Are we ready?
Yes.
All right. So do we know who's going to be first speaker and all that stuff? Okay. Do you guys need me to put up the screen again? Or no, no need? Okay. So who is the first proposer?
Me.
All right. Go for it.
Hello, my name is Hill and my teammate is Fanang. We're going to debate about zoos are cruel and all the animals should be released into the wild. So first, my first argument is animals have the right to live in their natural habits without human interference. Zoos deprive animals of their breeding, confining them to artificial environments that do not meet their natural needs. The second argument is stress for animals. Many animals in zoos exhibit signs of stress. The unnatural and confined conditions lead to poor mental health and suffering.
All right. So the opposing side, who's going first? Who's the first one? Who's the opening? Ming or Jia Kong, who goes first from your team? Ming, can you hear me? Jia Kong, can you hear me? Am I muted?
Yeah, but
I'm not.
like I'm preparing to be like the second speaker because I've already went for some rebuttals.
Oh,
So I
okay.
don't know what the other person is doing.
You were taking that time to talk did you not talk with your teammates?
I was like researching when I accidentally misclicked and I got like logged out of the Zoom and then I just rejoined, so I haven't really talked.
Okay, because we need somebody to go first. Somebody has to be the first do the opening for the opposing side. So, Jia Kong, are you ready? Can you maybe open or no?
Oh,
Yes,
yes, I can hear you.
Oh, never mind.
Okay, all right, go ahead, you open.
My Wi-Fi is not really good.
Oh,
If
okay,
I miss something, can you tell me?
yes. All right,
Can
go ahead.
can I start?
Yeah, go ahead, start.
Even though some people said that zoos are inherently cruel and that all animals should be released into the wild, is compelled. There are important counterpoints to consider. Zoos are providing sanctuary for aim at preventing extinction. Many animals in zoos have been born in capability and may lack the survival skills necessary to thrive in the wild, making their release potentially harmful. Additionally, zoos offer educational opportunities that foster public awareness, which can lead to greater conservation efforts and funding. Therefore, while reforming zoo practices to enhance animal welfare is essential, an outright release of all zoo animals might not be the most effective solution to ensuring that.
All right. So rebuttal, second proposer.
Okay.
So, yeah.
My speech will start in 3, 2, 1. Okay. I'm the second speaker of the proposition team, and now I want to rebut your argument. First argument of you is about like extinction, but I want to rebut that zoos say they help protect animal, but many don't really help much with saving species in the wild. Breeding animal in captivity
Captivity.
captivity often doesn't work well and can take money away from better way to protect wildlife. In fact, sanctuaries, animal sanctuaries are a better option than zoos. They rescue many animals, many species, and let them live in more nature and space and a bigger place. And sanctuaries care more about animal well-being than just entertaining visitor. And your second argument, which is about educational purpose, but as I believe, zoos take misleading education purpose because zoo can give people the wrong idea of wildlife, making students nowadays think that it is okay to keep animal in cage for fun. This can hurt real effort to protect animal and their nature homes, and our future and our like the next generation can have that thinking that might harm the environment and people. And as our first speaker have said about animal rights and animal stress, I wanna continue and talk more about animal stress. So I wanna plus argument about lack of nature environment. So the artificial environment in zoos cannot replicate the complexity and richness of the regular animal nature habitats. So this can lead to frustrated, bored, and then physical, mental health, well-being. Yeah, and it can cause stress to animal. And yeah. And way. So as our first speaker talk about animal right and animal stress, it is the both of argument or impact or bigger, as I believe both of or the impact of the argument are bigger than the opposition. I have my speech.
All right, thank you. All right, and Ming, you're gonna wrap it up. Ming, it's you.
Isn't it me?
Yes, it's you. Yes.
All right, so hello everyone. I'm the Kwang. I'm the second speaker of the negative team. stating the point that animals should not, oh, that animals should not be kept in zoos because they're cruel, and instead they should be released into the wild. And we're opposing this argument, this motion. So let me start out with some rebuttals. The first speaker from the affirmative team stated that animals deserve to be in the wild, and when they're in zoos, they show signs of stress while being held captive. To me, this is false because first things first. If endangered animals are in the wild, they risk their lives to poachers and other people who try to hunt them down to try to make items out of them. For example, while tigers are hunted for their skin, while elephants are hunted for their tusks. Keeping them in zoos are much safer for them because they are protected from the outside risks that endanger them. Along with that, the animals showing stress while being held captive is only present in low quality zoos that don't have much care for the animals themselves, because famous and well credited zoos have good treatment of animals and are renowned for the high standards of living that the animals have inside them zoos. Along with that, the second speaker of the affirmative team stated that animal sanctuaries are better than zoos as they provide better conditions for animals while keeping them quite free, and along with that they provide better conditions for visitors. However, these animal sanctuaries are not very popular, and their scale compared to zoos are too small to keep most endangered species away from poachers and dangerous people. These people oh, can hunt the endangered species down in the wild, and because of the higher standards and cost of sanctuaries, it is less effective in keeping large amounts of endangered species in one place. Now I'll state my points. So, zoos protect animals from being hunted in the wild, and zoos allow reproduction and increase in numbers for endangered species. For example, Socorro doves are a species of doves that are extinct in the wild, meaning that because of their shrinking habitat and the fact that they're being hunted, it made them extinct in the wild, and now they're only present in zoos. However, in these zoos, they're now on a reproduction campaign in order to increase the numbers and slowly introduce them back into the wild. Therefore, in conclusion, we believe that zoos are not cruel and that animals should not necessarily be released in the wild.
All right, guys. Well done today. We we are completely out of time. Actually, we're 2 minutes over. Or 2 minutes, like class should have ended 2 minutes ago. So what we got through today was we got through our opening and our rebuttal. We now at this point you would receive questions from the audience or from the judges. We don't have an audience. Well, you have me, but just me. So for homework, what I want you to do is I want you to think of 2 questions to ask the other team. So the proposing side, I want you to think of 2 questions that you would ask the opposing side. The opposing side, 2 questions for the proposing side. And then I want you to write your conclusion. Okay? That's your homework. Any questions? No? Thanks for hanging in there with me, guys. I know that we went over in time. I will type it in the chat, but I will also send it. Think of 2 questions to ask the other team and write your conclusion. All right. All right, guys. Well, I will see you in a few days. Have a great weekend. All right. Bye.
Bye.